I'm not even sure how to start this video. I woke up today to the day not being ideal, I guess is a good way to put it. I don't want to say it was a bad day. It was a very frustrating day. Camden has had some major regressions this summer. Part of it is just due to not being into the routine that he's used to with school, and the structure that he has with school. But I don't know that part of it doesn't have other origins. For those of you who don't know our story, his delay with his autism, his major delay, had to do with his potty training. And it was a year ago in February, so almost 2 years ago, before he fully got potty trained. He was 9, or just shy of being 9 when he potty trained. And we've had a serious regression as far as peeing. He wets the bed several nights a week. And I know that some regression is normal in certain stages of life, but it's getting to a point that it is infuriating. I don't know if it is him being lazy and not getting up and going when he needs to go, if he's just sleeping through it, because he does have to take medication to help him sleep. I don't know, but I'm at my wit's end. And so we woke up with that being the first thing that we found out. I try to send him to go and get his clothes changed. He doesn't want to do it. He's more worried that I'm mad, so he doesn't want to leave the room. So I go to grab my glasses, drop them, knock them off under the bed, crawled down there to get them, and found just this pile of, we had a roll of cotton batting, and I thought that I had thrown all of it away, but apparently one of the dogs had grabbed part of it, and it is completely shredded underneath my bed. So I have that to clean up today. Then I walked into the living room, thought I had put my shoes away last night, and the dog pulled out the insole that I have to wear for my plantar fasciitis, I can't talk, and had eaten part of it. It was just kind of a Murphy's Law morning. I have not talked very much, if at all, about what I'm about to discuss, but this is incredibly hard to talk about. There is still such a stigma about mental health that it's very hard to talk about, but I want to be open and honest about my struggles, hoping that it'll help somebody else. I was diagnosed with depression when I was 18 years old. There was family history of chemical imbalance induced depression, and I started on medication when I was either 18 or 19. And fast forward several years later, when we lost our daughter in 2011, I was diagnosed as manic depressive, which is my preferred term, but it is bipolar disorder. Now, there are varying degrees of bipolar disorder. Mine is not severe, but if I do not regularly take my medication, my mood swings are severe, and they range from extreme sadness to anger. Now, I don't fly off the handle and do anything drastic or terrifying or anything like that, but I do get mad really easily. Things seem way more like a big deal than they necessarily need to, and I had been exhausted the last couple of nights and had fallen asleep without taking my medication. And so this morning really just hit me way harder than it needs to. But one thing that I want this channel to do is open the door for discussions regarding mental health, and especially regarding mental health of single parents, with or without children with special needs. The strain on a person being a single parent, being a sole provider for a family, and taking care of all of the facets of life that come into play on their own, I think is disregarded a lot of times, and people don't realize exactly how difficult it is. Now, I will say I have a fantastic support system. My parents are extremely helpful. They take care of Camden for me while I'm at work. Camden's dad is in the picture and is involved in his life. But since I am primary custodian, a lot of it falls to me. And like taking care of decisions with the school, medical, all of that does fall to me. And I'm not saying that I have it harder than anybody else, because let's face it. No. I'm not saying that I have it harder than anybody else, because let's face it, it could definitely be worse. I could have multiple children with special needs. I could have a child that is unable to function. It could definitely be a lot harder or a lot worse. But for me, this is incredibly overwhelming. It is a daily struggle that we don't know how good or bad of a day we're going to have. Like this morning, he had been given all of his medication. He has to be treated for anxiety as well as his ADHD, and he takes those medications in the morning. We got those taken, and he could not calm down. There's some fun, exciting stuff happening today for him, and he was so keyed up that he could not calm down. He was running around the living room exhausted, but he couldn't stop. And the things that normally help that aren't necessarily the same things all the time. Sometimes the thing that worked yesterday doesn't work at all today, or something that you gave up on working a year and a half, 2 years ago suddenly works again. It's a struggle. It's really hard. I don't talk about how hard it is because it's just my life, and you figure out how to do what you need to do, but it's lonely and it's hard. It's very